Aloha and welcome. Up till now, we've allowed the actual runtime to raise errors for us. So if we put in invalid inputs and we came across like a division by 0 or something like that, the system would automatically raise the exception for us. We can actually do that on our own, though. We can specify that in our code, and there are times when we want to do that. And one thing is if you've got code in there and you're checking for different types of errors and everything, soon those if-then statements will get a little bit in the way. So when you're looking at your code and you're looking at it, the readability is going to get whacked a little bit because you're having to read and you see all these if and then statements and handling for different cases and everything else. So it's often nice if you just use a nice clean raise exception error. So I'm going to show you what that looks like now. I'll pull up VS Code here, and I have a little example already cooked up here. So our example here is going to read in a number between 1 and 10. It's going to convert that in to an integer and store it in X. So then it's going to try, and it's going to say if 1 is between 1 and 10 inclusive, it's going to say good number. Else, it's going to raise value error of I said pick a number between 1 and 10. So it's going to fire off and it's going to raise an error here. Then when it raises this error, we're going to go and we're going to handle it in accept. And in the accept, we're going to say, accept value error because we're raising a value error there. And it's going to say as error type. So error type is going to be bound to the error that we have here. And we're passing in the I said pick a number. We're passing in the string. So when we print out the error type, it's going to be printing out the string that we passed along with it. And then after doing that, we're going to say how do you expect to guess the number if you're out of range? So when we run this, we're going to give it a number like 6, which is okay. And what happens? It says good number because that's what we had to do over here. But then we we raise if it doesn't fit that if it doesn't do that, then when we run it, let's give it -5. If we give it -5 here, it's going to give us immediately. It's going to raise this value error. It's going to pass in the I said pick a number to error type. It's going to print that out. Then it's going to say how do you expect to guess the number if you're out of range? So this is how we are able to raise our own errors here without having the system to, because normally this wouldn't trigger a value error. It's just that because it's out of the range that we want, we give it we raise this value error on our own and have it handle it over here. So this just makes it a little bit cleaner in general. So this section is rather short. It's just here to show you that we can do the raising ourselves. We can fire off that exception without having this, especially for something the system wouldn't necessarily catch because it's not violating any of the system rules, but it's violating our logic rules or our business logic here. So we don't want a number out of range. So we're going to specify that there, and this allows us to cleanly handle that. So if you have any questions about this, again, this is a short lesson. If you have any questions about it, send me an email or reach out and we can meet up in Zoom. Otherwise, hang in there and we'll see you in the next lesson.